Kimbo and you're tuning in to another webisode of Creativity is Contagious. Today I'm refinishing some wood furniture, and I am no expert by any means, but I do like to keep a project going, and I like to have a nice surrounding. My furnishings need to be something that keep me happy. I don't want them to look too bad, and I put my projects off as long as I can, and I think about it until I'm really ready with what I'd like to do. Now, I picked up this old country kitchen table a few years back, and it was rough. It had some character to it, had some big cracks in it, and lots of mars and scratches and things of that nature, but I just could not decide what to do with it. Now, this past week I was with a client at her home, and she had an old dining room set that looked fine to me. It was just a little dated. And she asked me where she should go to look for new furniture. And I looked at the table and thought, well, wow, that's in good condition. Why not salvage it? So I suggested to my client that she just paint it. And then she asked what color. Well, I looked at her room, her dining area, her breakfast dining area, and to me, the color seemed natural to go with apple green. And I don't like to give out any advice that I'm not willing to do in my own home. So thinking about her project and that green table that hopefully she's going to paint, because I think it will look really cute, it got me thinking about my own table. And I decided to go with the apple green on mine as well. Now, I just don't feel like going to the trouble of refinishing all of these chairs, and I like the wood tones. It's just in this room in particular and the adjoining room, we have too much brown already, so I'd like to break it up. Now, I did consider painting the table red because I thought it would look really cute that way too, but I'm going with the green. I think I've settled, especially since I've bought the paint, and here is the color. Isn't that fun? I hope you can see it. That is the brightest green, and I call it apple green. I can't wait till I'm finished. Now, I have another project going. Last week I purchased some stools to go around a round table. Let me show you. I hadn't been sure about what to do with this table. It was just standing alone in this room, and it just felt too formal to me, and I'd like to make good use of it and at least allow people to sit at it when they're here visiting with us. But it needed some seating. The room would be too crowded to have something with backs or arms on it, so I wanted a stool or an ottoman. Now, I even went online and looked for plans and how to build your own ottoman. I looked at the materials that would be needed. I discussed it with my husband, and he said it was doable, but it would take a while. So I really was impatient, and I wanted to get this project going. So when I found the deal that I found at a store, brand new, I found bar stools on sale, regular price though, actually not even on sale, 2 for $28, and they were already built. Now these are good looking stools. See that? I did, however, have to cut the feet off of them, 4 inches. We took 4 inches off of the bottom of each stool. Now be careful when you're measuring if you do that. You have to be very careful to do it correctly because these legs are at an angle, and you need to make sure that your measurement starts from the bottom down 4 inches on each side. If you don't, you'll have one wobbly stool. Well, I'm going to paint these green also. Leave the table brown because I love the brown, and the oak wood is just so pretty. But these are going to be green, and on this dark floor and with these dark surroundings, I think it will be just the perfect thing to make this room pop. Now let me show you one more thing. That day, when I found these stools, they also had the large stools, and they were the same price. I could not believe it. I've been waiting, debating whether we even needed bar stools, but we do have a bar here, and it looks a little empty and kind of odd without having bar stools at the bar. area right here is so dark, and we have a dark stain on all of the cabinetry, and our floors are dark. But I didn't want to stain these stools, and the color is too much of a mapley, reddish, walnutty color, almost even a cherry. So it's not right for the colors that we have in this room, which tend to be more walnut oak colors. So I debated on what color to paint them, and I don't want to get too many colors in here, or it might begin to look a little silly or carnival. So what I've decided to do with these is to paint them black. And I'm going to take a sander and buff them out on the edges and make them look a little warm. Now that's a good trick for people who don't want to get too refined with their wood finishing or painting. I'm going to do the same thing on the table, except on the table and the stools, I'm actually going to add a little bit of a stain, a little bit of a brown wood stain over them, just a wash to make them look antique and worn as if they've been around for a few years. And I hope that that will take care of it. Now, before you get started, you need to make sure that you have your work area ready and your clothing. Now, I do love Johnny Cash, but that's not why I'm wearing all black. I figured I'd start on the big stools first, and I'm painting with black. So I'm wearing black. In case it gets on my clothing, it won't be as noticeable. Most of my clothes do have paint on them, though, because I'm always painting. I went ahead and sanded down these stools, just a light buff to get the sheen off of them, and made a prep area with plastic and cardboard on the ground. And I take a wet rag after I've sanded them, wipe them down, let them dry, and then I will begin painting. Now what I'm going to do is flip my stools upside down and paint the bottom rungs first because they're hard to see, and paint as much as I can with it upside down first. Then I will flip it over, and this seat will be nice and it will not get messed up by being flipped over after it's been painted. So that's my plan. Now I have sanded both of these tall stools, and I'm feeling a little bit lazy now because I'm looking at these 4 little stools and saying, oh my goodness, I just don't feel like sanding that many more stools. I'm so tempted to just put the paint on them. But I think I will do the right thing and just take my time, don't get tired, I don't have a time limit, and actually do it the right way and go ahead and sand them out a little bit before I begin painting. Now, it does require work when we have our projects. We might want to be do-it-yourselfers and save some money and have all the enjoyment and be able to show the work to our friends and family and say, look what I did, and feel that pleasure and success of our project that we've done. But do it right, and then you won't regret it because you won't have to go back and redo later. But these are the types of projects that I enjoy doing. They don't have to be perfect, they just have to be nice, and it has to be something that you can live with, and it has to be, for me, when it's mine, something that I can live with. Now, if you have holes or cracks in your wood, you might want to fill them first using a wood putty. This table did have some cracks. Now, this comes in a little tub. It's already mixed. You take it with a spatula, and it's nice and pliable, and you apply it with your spatula. You can sand it down after it's dried, and this does not take a long time to dry. You can wipe it down with a wet rag just to get the residue off, and then it's ready to be painted. So look for products that are easy cleanup, easy to use, usually with water, best choice for me personally, especially for indoor projects. Have fun. Don't be intimidated. Just try it out. You can always paint over it. And remember, creativity is contagious. So what you do might spur someone else to do a creative project too. Have fun and share your creativity with others. and have a great day. We'll see you next time on Creativity is Contagious with Kimbo Daniel.